Hey everybody, make sure I got my tech going well. It's Jane from Chalk Mercantile and Surface Anthology. How are you all doing this afternoon? We've got some weather moving into Connecticut, so I thought it's 3 o'clock here. It's a little bit late for me anyway, but I had a wonderful call with my little mastermind group, the other creative painters from the Painted Cottage Facebook group. So I'm just going to grab my link and send it out to my text group people, let them know that I'm here doing a live, and I'm going to close my computer, no distractions. So I just want to remind everybody that the Surface Anthology membership is open, and what you get in there is a full-on workshop that I record because my workshops tend to have a bunch of lessons, a live Q&A, community, a live paint technique tutorial, 20% off everything in my Chalk Mercantile site. That's where you shop. And if you're interested in joining the membership, just go to surfaceanthology.com, click on Surface Anthology membership, and consider joining. It's just $23 a month, and I'd love to have you in there. So it's Christmas in July, so I came up with another, I don't know, something kind of fun for a little ornament. I love decorating for the holidays. As soon as Halloween starts, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever the holidays are, New Year's, I'm there. I just love it. It's such a wonderful time of year. And I am one of these people, I'm like, I'll start early because I think it extends the season. I'm one of those. But whatever you do is fine. Whatever works for you, as long as you do something that you love and that kind of reflects you, I think it's fantastic. So what I have here is one of these little wooden birdhouses that I think I got at Joann Fabric or Michael's. That's what we have in Connecticut. And I painted it with some just plain old white chalk paint. The only thing I'm not crazy about with these is this hanger. The string seems really thick to me for this. It's like it's almost out of proportion to me. It's the only thing I've looked at and gone, oh, I wish I could just put something, you know, a pretty ribbon in. And I suppose I could. This is knotted up inside, and I can get some pliers in there and pull it out, but I'm not going to with this one. I've got a bunch of them, so I might, you know, as I make more of these. And I think something like this makes a wonderful gift or tied to a gift for someone who loves to decorate. I think this is such a great thing to make. Any kind of homemade ornament. I go to thrift stores and rummage sales because I like to buy homemade vintage ornaments. I just love that. So what I pulled out here is I've got all these little, these are all from Germany. They're spun cotton mushrooms. I grabbed some of those, and I made this kind of little, what do they call these? A fussy tussy or a little bouquet. I know there's a word for this. But I put a bunch of little doodads together. I've got some little paper flowers. These are little spun cotton flower buds, a couple of the pink mushrooms, and then these little cranberries. And I tied them together with, this is called seam binding ribbon, and I love it. It comes on spools. It's really inexpensive, and it looks old. It looks vintage to me, and I just love it. The other ribbon I brought out that I might use, I don't know, is this beautiful metallic, and you can see the breeze blowing. It's making this all very dramatic, but it's this beautiful cotton and gold ribbon, and this is by Studio Carta, and this ribbon is made in Italy. It's absolutely gorgeous. I used to sell it at my shop. So I was thinking about the pink, but they don't quite, I guess I could I might just leave it, and then I could do gold. That looks really pretty, but I really just love this. And it's called seam binding or hem binding. I didn't bring over the spool, but I really love it. I use it all the time. I have a bunch of my unused and dried iron orchid molds, and I've got this is a mix I made myself. This is German glass glitter. It's the real thing, and I mix a bunch of grits. I have some clear glitter in here and some snow, so some kind of white glitter, and I make this really, I think it's really pretty blend. So the first thing I'm going to do, and by the way, to glue down glitter, I just use Elmer's school glue. I've always used that. I think it works really, really well. And then for my molds, as you all know, I love Tight Bond. So first thing I'm going to do is mess around with these molds because I'm determined to use all these on projects. And I did find, here they are, a couple of these that I used on another project, so they were cut down. This is from the Laurel mold. And I think I'm going to put those on like that. It's a little long, but I think it's really sweet. At this point, I've never tried, these are really hard. I've never tried to cut the molds, and I think it might be difficult. So I'm just going to go with that. And then I was just kind of messing around with the rosettes molds because I'm going to need to put something up there just to kind of finish that peak. So we'll see how it goes. But let's start there. And what I'm going to use is the Tight Bond Quick and Thick. You could use Aleene's Tacky Glue. Hey Danielle, how are you? Were you able to get into the Podia site and begin to watch all those workshops in there, Danielle? Let me know, because I'm going to be, you have a bonus one coming up in the membership. So I'm going to be loading that up soon too. All right, so I just take, this is a really old natural bristle brush. You need something with some stiff bristles for this glue. So I'm just going to take this glue and I'm going to first put it on the detail of the birdhouse here. The little, are these eaves, the molding? I should know the names of a house, right? And I'm really kind of loading this on because this isn't wet, right? This is a dry mold, so it's not going to conform to the shape of this. So we need to have like almost like a spackle kind of glue effect here. Make sure you have water to put your brush in too. All right, I'm just going to lay this down. And I'm pressing that in. Now this side. And you could kind of move it while it's still wet. Like that. And that feels really good. Danielle, I'm gonna help you out with it. Danielle is a new Surface Anthology member, and she can't figure out how to get into the group again. So do you mean the Facebook group or the Podia group? I know, Danielle, the tech can be crazy, but once you get used to it, going in and out, you won't have a problem. I'm in some groups and I'm like, oh my God, I feel embarrassed. I'm emailing, but just don't feel embarrassed. Just let me know because we want you in there. So there's our little kind of, overhang. And then what do I want to put here? I can't stop using these bees. But look at how cute the bee looks. Both. All right, Danielle, I'm going to help you with that. I will send you another link, right? Because the people at Podia, that's the platform that I have all my workshops on. They're so great at helping me because I'll say somebody can't get back in and they're like, okay, you have to send them a link. And of course, I've done this when I try to get back in. And it's a link that then you just reset your password, because that's what it's about. You have to have your same email that you use to get in with the same password. So that's what I'll do. All right, Danielle, so don't you worry. All right, I think I could do the bee. Oh, and that's so cute. These are kind of big, but look at how cute that looks. And then I have these little, they're like little lozenges, these little flowers. This one's from the rosette. So I think what I'm going to do is the bee at the end, because right now, the next part of this is, and I'm also going to be using, I think, the rosette mold on the different sides, because I just think these look so pretty, and that's what I want to glitter. All right, so here's my little bouquet, right? And yeah, there's some color in there and a lot of white. You know I love that whole white on white thing. And what I want to do is kind of put that up there at the top. So I'm actually going to tie it. I find when I move the wire around, let's see if I can do it. The wire is so stiff that I think I'm going to tie it on, and then after I'm just going to cut the wire. And if you want to make it really, really, really secure, you would glue before you start tying. This is why I admire floral designers, because man, I feel like I'm all thumbs when I'm trying to do something like this. So I'm just going to give this a nice pull, just like that. And I could even, because we don't want to see that wire, cut it and then wrap it around a little bit more, just a few more times with this ribbon, so you don't see any of those ends. But then I'm going to pull this down. And what's nice is these are all on wires. Right, and look at how pretty that is. Hey, Janet, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. So I just think that's so pretty. Now, before I go on with this, and let me tell you, the type on is so great. It sets up pretty quickly. This is pretty secure, enough that I can move this, little ornament around in my hands. Now what I think I'm gonna do is turn this over, and I wanna put, because I think ornaments, because they're moving around on your tray, or if you hang them up for something, and I like to have this all different sides, decorated, right? And look at how pretty that is. I just love that. So I'm going to put this one on the back, and I'll show you what the other ones look like too. I mean, they all look really beautiful. But I'm going to put this big monster back there. Again, I'm putting a lot of glue because these are not wet, so they're not going to conform to the surface that we're putting these on. And if you're doing this on furniture, I would tell you to glue them on wet, because you don't want to have any spaces or gaps. All right, so you just press that down, just like that. Right? And then, if I wanted to add something to the roof, you can add these little bees. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Danielle's saying very pretty, right? How could you go wrong with all these little, I call them little confections. It's like decorating cupcakes. But you can do something like that. And on the other side, you just leave it because you have the ribbon kind of flowing down like this. And I think that's super cute. So I'm going to do, I think I just lost the bee. I did. Oh, I have another bee right here. So I'm going to do a couple of these bees. Right, just like this. And I'm putting a lot of glue. All right, a little bit more. And yep, I know that there are no bees, at least in Connecticut, at Christmas time, but I don't care. People put pickles on their trees, right? Anything goes as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. Right? It's just so much fun, really sweet. And you could stop right here and have like one of those beautiful kind of white flocked Christmas trees and just have it covered in white ornaments with little touches of red and pink. People do that. They theme out their trees. I don't, because I just can't pick. I have to put everything on my Christmas tree. How about you guys? It's like, oh, I have to put this and that. And oh, sometimes I'll even change. I have a couple of stars for the top and I have to change them out. And really, I just need to have two Christmas trees. All right, the last thing that I want to do before I glitter, and I think I'm going to have to wait. This is making me nuts. I'm going to bend these back. I don't have my wire cutters right with me, but that's definitely what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this down, way down here, wrap this a couple of times, put a little bit of glue, and just have that ribbon coming down. And actually, you see the ends here? Let me see, I'll put something dark behind that. I'm going to clean up that end and clean up this end so they have a nice angle, a nice sharp angle. A red bird from the bird's mold. That would be beautiful, Janet. Absolutely. Maybe we'll do that on Friday, sitting on the perch. Absolutely. Danielle's like, I definitely put everything on my tree. I've been given so many great ornaments that I like to put them all out. And Julie's saying she puts up three trees. That's fabulous. And Danielle, isn't it so, when I love receiving ornaments as a gift and I love giving them, and I just love them. Every time I open up that, those boxes with the ornaments, right? It brings back really good memories, and then even the ones I pick up at thrift stores and rummage sales that somebody else, carefully handmade. There's just something so sweet about that. And Julie, that is great. And I'll bet you, Julie, do you have different size trees? Because I've thought about that too. Maybe I should put one up on a table. Then I have my big one. And then maybe I do have, that I used to use in my shop, one of those really tall, skinny trees, because it was so great for displaying ornaments, but it didn't take up a lot of room. Danielle's like, yep, I love them all. And Jan is saying that would be a wonderful teacher gift. Absolutely. When I had a salon, my customers, my clients used to give me gifts at the holidays, and one gave me these beautiful ornaments. Oh, I just love it. I love it. And Julie's like, yep, she's got 3 different size trees. See, I knew it. All right, what I want to do now is I am going to be putting, I think I'm going to put, maybe I'll continue with the bee theme, and I'll put the little bee right up here, right? But I'm not going to do it right now until I show you guys how to glitter this, how I glitter, because that's going to be delicate. That I'm going to need to lay down and really let dry, because it's not going to have a lot of surface touching the top of those molds. So the next thing, let's do a little glittering. Oh, that wire. So I'm going to take out, and I just use regular old Elmer's school glue. And I actually called a company. I used to make ornaments, these really, ridiculously fancy little ornaments, and I would sell them. And when I started with that, I was like, what's everybody using to put this German glass glitter on with? And I called a company called Blümchen, and they are they make those beautiful kind of German style ornaments from, everything is from Germany, that they put them together with. And they told me we use Elmer's school glue, and they said if it's too runny, what they'll do is put it out and let it dry a little bit, let the water evaporate. But that's what they use, and they swear by it. So if it's good enough for them, it's certainly good enough for me. So I've got my glitter, my German glass glitter that now is pouring out. Oops. And let's move the molds out of the way. And normally I use this, I have this really beautiful little silver platter that I got at Goodwill, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just using this little plastic lid. Hey Brenda, hello to you. Thanks for joining us. But when you're using German glass glitter, you don't want to, it's pricier than plastic glitter. I don't use plastic glitter. And you don't want to, have it go all over the place. You want to collect it so you can use it again. So I always glitter over, like, I know some people use those jelly roll cake pans, a platter, a big plate, whatever works for you. And I have my little spoon. I like to keep it fancy. I use this little silver spoon. Julie says, I collect ornaments for our son over the years since birth. Then when he moved out, he was ready for his first tree. I just love Christmas. And I have way too many decorations. Oh, Julie, I can relate. And you can't get rid of them. I went through, I'm like, I can't get rid of this. It's from when I had my twins, their first birthday, or my third son, first Christmas. I can't get rid of any of it. Have to be careful with German glass glitter. Yes, Brenda, it's glass. And I tell people, this is not the glitter you use with little kids. That's when you get the other kind of glitter, right? This is the real deal. It is glass. The silver German glass glitter is made with sterling, and it is beautiful. And yep, it'll cut you. And I'm very careful. I don't dig my hands in it like this, because if it gets under your nails, it really hurts. So I hear ya. All right, let's start with our little rosette mold on the back. So I put out my Elmer's glue, and then I'm just gonna take my brush. Of course, my brush still has some type on, which is okay because it dries clear. But I'm just gonna brush everywhere I want that glitter. And I'm using, this is pretty much white or clear, so I don't have to worry about, if a little bit of it goes on the house like I just smeared there. You could glitter the whole house. And Brenda's saying, some put it in salt or sugar shakers. Marked, of course. That is a great idea. And Brenda, I have these old, those old vintage salt and the sugar shaker, which is bigger, right? And it has those silver tops that are really cool. That would look beautiful. Janet is saying, my kids will probably throw all my ornaments out when I die. Janet, I worry about that too, because my twins are now 30 and my youngest son is 28, and I still get them ornaments every year. And I'm like, you guys aren't going to throw these out. Oh no, Mom. I said, I'll come back and haunt you. I'll make you miserable. So yeah, I worry about that too. All right, there's the rosette done. And I'm just going to take a spoon of this and just and the wind's blowing this. We are getting some weather. That's all I know. It is actually windy. All right, so I put that on. Right, there it is. And then I'm just going to tap it off. Oh, I just love that. I just love that. And it is like sugar. Brenda, you made me think of sugar. You know that sugar that they put on like fancy little petit fours and stuff and it shines? Or that big sugar they put on muffins and it shines, right? Look at how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. Okay, now I'm going to go over to the two, it's from the laurel wreaths. I guess there's two pieces of, what is that? What kind of leaves are those? Laurel leaves? Yeah, right? We were just talking, I was talking to Joni of Weathered Wings, and Tammy of Flipping Furniture, and my entire life, yep, Danielle's saying it looks like a sugar cookie. Absolutely, that's what it is. Thank you. But we were talking about how I can never remember names of anything, or I pronounce them like completely wrong. And this isn't my old age, unfortunately. It's the way I've been my whole life. And I'm always like, what's the name of that? What's that called? Oh, and when I taught at an art school, I said to them, and I started teaching at 19, everybody just put your names on your pad at the beginning of class because I am never going to remember your names. Don't take it personally. I used to say, I'm so excited to be here. I forgot your name. All right, same thing. I'm just pouring. And it would be much easier if I had a larger plate, tray, or platter for sure. All right. Same thing. I'm going to lift this up, give it a tap. I just love that. I'm going to go look for that mold and see if I can get a little bird for right over here because that would be really cute. And I could paint the bird red like you said. And I think that would be really sweet. So thank you for that great idea. All right, last thing I'm going to German glass glitter are these bees. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Brenda's saying adorable. I think we should all, go, oh my God, I would probably freak out. When I'm still working on my sewing room and I found 2 boxes of ornaments. But it would be interesting to go through all of our ornaments and count how many we have. You know, I had a customer when I had my brick and mortar chalk mercantile, and she started decorating in October for Christmas, and her house was like a fantasy land. From the outside, the inside, the kitchens, the bathrooms, and she was very, very particular about, you know, what she would put up. And she just loves it and would plan it. And it was amazing. And why not? All right, there's our bees. And there they are. And it's hard in this light because the lights that I'm using are diffused, but nothing shines like the German glass glitter. It is absolutely beautiful. So that is it. I could even add some glitter to these little, I don't know, I guess they're flower buds. Like I'll add a little bit to those. So I'm just gonna take my brush, and you can of course glitter colored things. They don't have to just be white with clear glitter like this, and because it won't cover up the color. All right, let's get a little bit. Oh my God, the wind is so strong, it just blew the glue. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit to those. And then when you put those lights on, oh, so pretty. Beautiful. So now those have a touch of glitter. Oh, thank you. Thanks, you guys. This was so much fun. So are you going to count your ornaments? Should we do that? So crazy. Last thing I'm going to do before I let you go, I'm going to put the bee down. And then I'm going to glitter it. But should we count them? I can't even, I mean, 500, 1,000, right? Oh. Okay. I think I'll do it like this. Whoop. And you know what? I'm going to have to let this sit. I'm going to have to really blob it on because now I've got glitter that it has to go through. So I'm going to put on a really big blob. There we go. Punch it down like that. And I'll add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to get that bird mold. I hope I have one. Okay. Whoops. Here comes the wind. Oh my goodness. Here we go. And there you go. Pretty, pretty, pretty. It's all so pretty. Brenda's saying it's 90 here, so I'm envious you can have your windows open. Let me tell you, I'm sweating. I'm like, I could look at my face in the camera. We were, you know, it was nice this morning. It was a little bit muggy, Brenda, but I think it's probably, I don't know, 80 now. So it isn't hot like you. 90's hot, but it's muggy. It's humid. Like, and you know when you've got a storm coming in or a front moving through, the wind, the tops of all my trees are just blowing over and you see the underside of the leaves. Oh. So you guys, that is it. Are any of you making little Christmas ornaments, doing Christmas in July? There you go. You can see it better like that against something dark. And Danielle's asking, love it. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Where did you find that little birdhouse? So I don't know where you guys are, if you have Joann Fabric, but you could look them up online. That's where I bought these. I bought a bunch of them. You can also, I think, find them at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. They might not be the same ones, but I like these. They're sturdy, and you could do a lot with them. So they don't have a lot of doodads on them. I wanted something plain so I could zhuzh them up myself, you know. So I would definitely go to joannfabric.com and see if they still have them. They were really inexpensive and they're really sturdy. I did a tutorial where I painted a bunch of them in like bright colors for my grandson's birthday, and we put them at the bottom of our dining room chandelier, and they're still there. We love them. Brenda's in Virginia. And you're getting, yep, you're on the coast. And Virginia gets hot. We get hot like Virginia, for sure. Oh, well, stay safe, Brenda. I'm going to be down in my basement, I think, if there's a lot of lightning. And Janet's saying they're in the bird song mold, right? But they're also the tiny birds in the cameo molds. And I have used those. But now, of course, what I've done, I guess, but you know, this is my world. This is my fantasy, right? I put these giant bees there now, right, Janet? And the birds in the cameo mold are so tiny. But I can do another one where I put those little birds kind of all over the birdhouse. That would be really sweet. So thank you for that. All right, you guys, that's it for today. If you're making anything, let me know. Head over to the Painted Cottage and share it or tag me. I'd love to see what you all are making, and let me know if you're brave enough to count your ornaments. Oh my God, and think about the money we have invested in those ornaments, right? Ay, 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 ay. And Danielle, that's a great idea. And you know I've got dried moss. Danielle is saying You could put a little bit of dried moss coming out of the hole, absolutely, right there, and put a little bird over there. That would be really, really sweet. I love that. That's the thing about something like this that I love. And make sure you put your brush in water, you guys. You can kind of, I like to take out all my, I call it all my doodads, put them all out on a table, you know, my ribbons, whatever. And you can grab stuff like Danielle said, moss, Janet saying the birdsong mold, right? Or the cameos mold, get some birds on there. But you can literally sit down and create, you know, a bunch of ornaments, and no two will be alike. And they're so much nicer than buying something, you know, at a shop. They're just so much nicer. Or a spray of red berries. Absolutely. And Janet, this is just the beginning of my red berries. I have so much of that stuff. So absolutely, would be so beautiful. And if you guys didn't see, in the painted cottage, all of us, 4 of us, Tammy of Flippin' Furniture, Joni of Weathered Wings, Kim of For the Nest, and of course me of Surface Anthology, we did that whole birdhouse workshop. Each of us did, and it's a larger version of this birdhouse, and we had so much fun with that. But I love homemade and handmade. And the thing to not forget to do when you're making your stuff is sign it, turn them over, sign it, and put the year, right? And for your children, for somebody who might find it, right? They might find 300 years from now, you know, they'll find an ornament that one of us made, and they could turn it over and see who it was. You can even put your state and your town. I just think that would make it even more special. So you guys, enjoy, go make something fabulous. Show the rest of us what you're making. We want to see. And I will see you, today's Wednesday. I will see you on Friday. And maybe I'll come up with another ornament. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. But anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys. For anybody interested in the Surface Anthology membership, go to surfaceanthology.com, click on membership. If you want to check out the workshop we all did, go to the Painted Cottage Facebook group, and it's in there. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in a couple